Hey guys, Thomas Cecilia Jr. here, aka Mustached Tom, here to review Kingdom Hearts Final Mix. I know this is the cover for the original Kingdom Hearts, but I felt like using the Final Mix cover would be even more confusing that shows two different game titles that aren't even Kingdom Hearts, so I thought this would be the better of choices between the two. At any rate, I will be talking about story and gameplay and giving them two separate scores as I do feel this game deserves it. And, last but not least, if you want to see the gameplay and me playing it for yourselves, I will leave a link in the description that will head you over to the first part of the Let's Play for my Let's Play of Kingdom Hearts. With that being said, let's talk about the story of Kingdom Hearts. So, in the beginning, we follow Sora, who eventually comes across Donald and Goofy in Traverse Town. Your essential goal is to find Riku and Kairi. However, you do come across several other worlds, and you come across several other side stories that kind of guide you along, and eventually you do get back to the original story of saving Riku and Kairi, or at least finding them. I believe the latest mention or re-mention of these two characters does come in the world of Peter Pan. I didn't remember any other part where we kind of actually are trying to find them. There are more cutscenes in Final Mix revolving at least around Riku and what he's been doing while we're sort of away. So at least that Final Mix fixes that problem. I don't remember those cutscenes in the original version. Maybe I'm just misremembering, it's been way too long. But at any rate, the main story does kind of get lost track of with all these other side stories going on about, but that is kind of the nature of Kingdom Hearts. So, with that said, I still do really enjoy this sort of, this major crossover. Seeing all these characters, seeing their stories as well, and how they integrate with the world of Heartless and all that stuff. So, it's still pretty interesting, even today, with Kingdom Hearts 3 continuing the story, as it's going to be coming out fairly soon at this point. But I am losing track. So, with that said, I would give the story of Kingdom Hearts a 6 out of 10. And I do give it a 6 out of 10 is because, first, I do believe there could have been more, build-up moments for Sora in finding Riku and Kairi. Riku and Kairi. Next up, because of the nature of the story and the particular end of the story, again, with the less setup of these characters, the final moment, there is a part to me that still doesn't make sense. It doesn't add up. There's no reason for that to happen, but it happens, and it kind of comes out of nowhere. So, again, I think spending more time with the characters you're trying to find would have helped salvage that ending. But as is, it's kind of confusing. The ending is still kind of confusing, and I don't know if the other two games before 2 will solve that answer, but we'll see about that. But as this ending is concerned, yeah, it's kind of comes out of nowhere. So again, that's a 6 out of 10 for the story. Now let's talk about gameplay. It's sort of a mix between a character action as we follow Sora and a hack and slash essentially, as you sort of just tap the same button repeatedly, that being square, to attack the Heartless. You do have your little options on the lower left where you can choose other things, and you have shortcuts to magic, so there are other things you can do Magic isn't particularly a big deal unless you are specifically hunting for the final weapon and or taking on one of the secret bosses in Kingdom Hearts, which I did do all of them. I did do all the secret bosses at some point. As far as that is concerned, with some of the level setup, Sora's combat can get a little bit annoying, as sometimes his swings can carry him over a platform and then you fall off, as the Heartless are sort of either flying about or, yeah, mostly the enemies that are flying about cause most of the trouble, if anything else. So some of the level design in junction with the gameplay I do think fails a little bit harder than anything else. And one of the other bigger flaws I found, especially with one of the particular bosses, was the hitbox. I felt, particularly with Maleficent, that was one of the bigger issues I found, particularly in her second form. I complained about that non-stop. Some of the bosses were my fault, I just wasn't paying attention, like with Ursula and her magic, and then again, that's where magic would come in, that's your gimmick, you're supposed to hit the cauldron with magic, and I did it once assuming that once would be enough. That is not the case, you have to do it a few times, and then she'll eventually pass out, and they'll give you your opportunity to swing at her freely. So, yeah, there are some sort of more gimmicky fights in this as well, so you just have to pay attention. Other bosses, as I mentioned, in Maleficent, her hitbox is very dumb and very misguided and very poorly done, leading to some of the more frustrating boss battles in this game. Besides her, I don't think there are any other bosses that I found any significant trouble with. I think Sephiroth having a secret health bar is kind of par for the course, at least for this game. I know in 2 that's not the case, he just has more health bars, but whatever. Other than that, I didn't have many issues with it. I will say the stocking for potions in Sora's case, or anyone's case in this game, is a little bit over. You have to keep restocking it if that's something you feel you need to do, is stock up on potions. And sometimes I did feel like that is the case, especially for Sephiroth. You're probably going to need at least 2 or 3 elixirs, probably 1 in my case, unless you can see what he's doing and then cut him off. But nonetheless, that doesn't fix the slow slot inventory problem. Unfortunately, that was fixed later on, I do know that for sure. But as it stands, I would give the gameplay, I do think it struggles a little bit more than the story, if anything else. So I would give the gameplay a 5 out of 10. I do feel like there is quite a few kinks and just missteps in the gameplay that a lot of 2 fixed, so look forward to when I get to that game, because yeah. So those are my 2 different scores, and look forward to Kingdom Hearts Chain of Memories, as that will be the next part, obviously. Actually, I think that video will be coming up first, and then this will be a bizarre follow-up, if anything else. Anyways, if you enjoyed this video game review, then please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. Also, make sure to check out that link in the description or head over to my Patreon page. Any donations are greatly appreciated. Until next time, everyone, bye-bye.